let's now do page 393 and do number 6. And on here it asks us to solve for milligrams or micrograms, and then milliliters, and then round to the 10th as our instructions. And so number 6 says a provider orders cefadine 19 milligrams per kilogram per day, PO in 4 divided doses, so 4 doses. Now it's important for you to write down kind of what they have, whether this is every 6 hours, every 2 hours, every 4 hours, BID, TID, whatever. But always look at what your descriptive term is, because that's kind of what's going to lead you in your dimensional analysis. The patient weighs 3.8 kilograms. The pharmacy supplies the cefadine in a suspension containing 125 milligrams in 5 milliliters. And again, first we wanted to solve, in this case, milligrams. So we're going to start with milligrams on top. And so we have 19 milligrams per kilogram. And then kilograms there. We need kilograms here. 3.8 kilograms per day. If this is days, we have to have days next. And in one day, we're going to give 4 doses. And so therefore, we have 19 times 3.8 times 1, which gives us 72.2. And then 1 times 1 times 4, and that gives us 18.05, which rounds to 18.1 because we're rounding to the 10th milligrams per dose. And then now we need to solve for milliliters. So then we're going to have our 5 milliliters on top, our 125 milligrams. If this is milligrams here, milligrams has to come here, and that's where we're going to plug in this information, 18.1 milligrams per dose. Our milligrams would cancel out. 5 times 18.1 gives us 90.5 over 125. And that gives us 0.724, and again rounding to the 10th gives us 0.7 milliliters per dose. So that's an example, 393, number 6. Now we're going to do one like a sample question that was on your homework. So this one is, again, for chapter 18, and the one that is questions 5 through 7 on there. So I'm going to do one that's an example of that, obviously not the same question. So here it says, insert the correct responses, do not round doses, use the following information to answer 5 through 7. Now I'm going to say, as far as do not round doses here, unless otherwise specified. So we're going to say the recommended dosage of oxacillin, or excuse me, I'm going to say Rocephin for a child is, I'm going to say 75 milligrams per kilogram per day given BID. Our patient weight, we'll say, is 88 pounds. And the medication supplied is 100 milligrams in 10 milliliters. And so question, or number 5, it says, what is the child's weight in kilograms? So with this one, I'm going to, since we're solving for kilograms, I start with kilograms on top, and I have pounds, so I need to know my known conversion here, which is 1 kilogram is equivalent to 2.2 pounds. If this is pounds, I have pounds here. This is where I plug in my 88 pounds over 1. Pounds would cancel out, and that gives me 88 divided by 2.2, which is 40 kilograms. That would be the answer to number 5, that it would be like on your homework. Then number 6, it says calculate the safe dose in milligrams per dose, and I'm going to say here we're going to round to the 10th. So milligrams per dose, I need to start with milligrams on top. So here I have 75 milligrams per kilogram, and since we've already solved for our kilograms here, I can just plug in that number here, 40 kilograms. And then I need to have per day. If this is days, I have to have days next. And in 1 day, I need to give BID. So obviously you have to know what BID means, which is 2 times a day, which is ultimately 2 doses in a 24-hour period. Then our kilograms would cancel out, days would cancel out, leaving us with 75 times 40. Gives us 3,000 divided by 2. Gives us 1,500 milligrams per dose. And then to figure out our last bit, it says how many milliliters per dose. So here I'm going to start with milliliters on top. So that's where I'm going to plug in my 10 milliliters per 100 milligrams. And then I have 1,500 milligrams per dose, because this is what I'm using here. So milligrams would cancel out. So I've got 10 times 1,500, which gives me 15,000 divided by 100, which gives us 150 milliliters is what I would administer for this kiddo. For this amount, 75 milligrams per kilogram per day for 88 pounds, which ultimately is 40 kilograms, and the pharmacy has supplied 100 milligrams per 10 milliliters.